Day 20, take 1.
Hi, my name is Thabo Rametsi, and this is my masterclass on directing crew and background, brought to you by Showmax and Actor Spaces. Okay, so you're a hotshot young director, and you've got a hotshot producer. You guys have found a great story, created an amazing treatment, and shopped it around. And finally, one of the broadcasters has signed up for your idea. Now you've got some budgets, now you've got your idea, and you've got the perfect cast. So what do you need? You need a really good crew. I mean, a really good crew. So how do you find a good crew? Well, hopefully you've got a really good line producer who can find for you the people who are best. But what's important about getting a good crew is getting synergy. Not just people who are experienced, who have the skill set that you need, but you also need to have a good energy based on them. That's why a lot of directors usually have interviews with crew members. Why? You're going to be in war. Film is war. You're in the trenches, it's ugly, it's sweaty, sometimes we swear at each other. You need to be with people you can stomach for a while under very strenuous circumstances. So make sure whoever you bring onto your crew is really energetically aligned with you. It's okay, you can have some fiery characters because you need some fiery characters. You can have some chill characters because you need some chill characters. But you can't have people who are too relaxed and you can't have people who are too intense. Find balance in who you bring in. So you get your cinematographer. I suggest with any director, find a really good cinematographer. Someone who understands not just the technology, but also has a beautiful visual eye. Make sure everyone is a storyteller. And how do you get the people right and exactly know who the storytellers are? You have to show them your vision. Always brief your crew on exactly what you want to see. The same way you brief them, you brief actors, you should be able to brief your crew. So get your cinematographer, get your lighting department, your entire camera department, your sound, your makeup, your wardrobe, your production design, all on the same version of what you want to create. So if you want to create a big dramatic masterpiece that's pre-colonial with great set pieces, make sure everyone has seen your reference information. So your treatments, your pictures, your images, make sure they know everything, what you are trying to accomplish. And make sure those people are in the same energy vibe. They like this story, they connect with the story, and they're not just here for a paycheck, because we don't really get paid that well. So it's never worth it. But if you get people who really love the project, I promise you, you will always get the best image. You'll never be able to pay them what they're worth because, well, creativity is abundant. The right artist has great ideas that have a budget that is unlimited. So I'm sure your sound person would love to put like magical mics behind the ear or hide them behind every props, but the reality is you don't have that. But find a sound guy who's willing to work around the restraints of budgets, the restraints of the location and your creativity as well. That's so important. As a director, it's so key to understand a little bit about each department. You don't have to know every single lens. You don't have to know exactly what the camera does. Quentin Tarantino famously once said he shot his first movie without knowing a single lens size. You don't need to know that. But if you've got the right cinematographer, he's not gonna throw you to the wolves just because you don't know that this is a 50 or whatever. Just show them like, I want something like this. A great way to do that is get pictures. If you've seen another movie before, get a screen grab of that movie, show your cinematographer, hey, I wanna recreate this. And to be honest with you, most films are created just from recreating other shots from other movies, and you'll be just fine. So trust me, watch movies and listen and consume a lot of art. A lot of people also take things like paintings or modern sculptor pieces or plays and try to recreate them in film. That's actually how you get away with looking like a creative genius. You just steal from really good people. Makeup. You might think you want like, oh, fabulous, beautiful matric dance and makeup, and you've got like the greatest makeup artist from your township who does amazing matric dance makeup. The problem is on camera, that stuff looks really crazy. Like really crazy. So it has to be very intentional. You want to find makeup that's probably natural for the world, that like brings the people in there. But if the world is a hyper-realized world, make sure you find a makeup artist who can deliver that. And makeup doesn't just come in at you just powdering people up. Sometimes you need special effects makeup. Things like blood or cool like features, eyes, green eyes, long hair. Make sure you find a makeup artist who's capable of doing that. Because if that looks bad, to be honest, the whole movie looks bad, right? And then make sure you have a good producer with you. A good producer is there to set out fires for you. That's so, so important. We have so many different people from so many different backgrounds, economic, education levels, you name it, and they're all doing something that they specialize in. These are usually experts in their field. So you'll find somebody who's been sewing clothes for maybe 20 to 30 years, now they're in the wardrobe department. That person has so much expertise about materials and textiles, and you as a director, you depend heavily on them. You might want a sofa or a couch to look a certain specific way to bring out color and speak about the message of the scene. You need to make sure your wardrobe department is on key. They know exactly what you're looking for. And it's just about you directing. You're literally pulling energies from people who know more than you about something and centralizing that idea into one great image. Now, you don't want to confuse your audience because they shouldn't have to care about the textures or the deepness of this thing or the sound or etc. That's not their job. Their job is to be totally immersed, and your job is to make sure that they are immersed. If your audience is focusing on art direction or set or whatever, you've probably failed at your job. They need to be engulfed and immersed in story. And that's why you have these other storytellers around you to help you doing that. You also need a problem-solving producer. That's a very, very key element. A producer shouldn't go around shouting and screaming at people. People should come with problems and they should be able to help them solve them. So for example, we were shooting this scene just previously now, and we had a fridge running in the background causing noise every time I spoke. We had to go speak to the building managers to find someone who specializes in that specific department who switches off those fridges. Now we could have scrapped the whole scene and moved this whole location to a place that had complete silence. However, that would have cost us time. But we had a producer who was capable and solve the problem. And that's exactly what you need. You need problem solvers and you need a crew that's understanding and on your side. Even if we go over a little bit, you know that they're with you, like, no, they understand. You need that. And it goes as well with your background artist. Yes, you've cast the perfect actors. You've got your A-list actors that are not only going to draw a crowd in for you, but also deliver and sell your story. But are they going to act alone? No, because you need your actors to go to a mall. You need them to go to a park to watch a concert. Who's everybody else who's watching that concert? They're not there by mistake. We're not just running up on some concert and then like guerrilla shooting. Well, I've done that before. But most of the time, you're not just guerrilla shooting a concert, right? You need to fill the rest of the audience with other people. And generally, those people need to be actors. And what's key about directing them is to make sure that each and every single one of those actors, and that's exactly what they are, actors, understand, just like every crew member, they're there to tell the story. They're adding to the story. And they're also specialists in their own field. So each crew member, even if he's just somebody sitting next to my lead character, needs to be living a complete full life. They need to have a full story. They need to be falling in love or kissing next to my character or sneezing or being allergic to something or having a bloody nose while the character's having the greatest romantic scene here. What does that do? It makes you realize that, wait, this is real life. I'm completely immersed in this world. I'm not just focused on these two egos that are standing in front of me. No, I'm in their world, not just in their space. And that's so important to have background artists that are able to pull off performances and complete story arcs. So the background artist has to collaborate with whom? Your second AD. An AD is an assistant director. Now, me as a director, the guy I always go to, or the girl I always go to, or the person of nondescript I go to, will probably be my first assistant director. That person is incredibly important. I need to be able to sit here and focus on the vision, but there's basic running on the floor of the set that I need to be able to convey information. If I need an actor on time, if I need my background to be moving in a specific way, that assistant director will be directing them. They're also my conduit to my crew. So get an AD that's strong, powerful, that allows us to be able to move quickly. Now, they'd argue their primary job as an assistant director is to make sure we finish on time and make sure everyone knows where to be. But the truth of the matter is, they're actually just assisting me direct this image. The only reason they're concerned about time is so that I have enough time to be able to shoot the next day at the next location, so my story is full, rich, and diverse. They're also there managing the crew. Sometimes I have to be just sitting there with the actors. That's my first point. I need to communicate with the actors and the background actors. I can only give them a certain amount of time, sadly. But a good director will probably give the background actors enough information. But that's why you need a good storytelling second AD, third AD, and a first AD. Those people will allow the entire idea that you have in your mind to be conveyed to not only your cast, your crew, but everybody on set. Everyone needs to know exactly what we're doing. Even catering. Catering needs to know when we need to break for lunch. The most important thing of all, by the way, is lunch. So what's important about you directing cast and crew? Communication. make sure everybody sees your vision. Secondly, make sure you protect the energy of the set. It's your job as the director to make sure the energy of the set reflects you. So if you have a kind set, a good set where people respect each other, that's your responsibility. If you have a chaotic, angry, passionate set, that's probably your fault as well. And how you've cast, you're not just your leading actors, but also your crew. Always depend on really good crew. So this is me, Thabo Rametsi. Go out, go direct some movies, go have some fun, make sure you have a great team. And guess what? Your cinematographer, your art director, they're probably sitting in the living room with you right now. Your friend who does art, guess what? That's a production designer. Your friend who loves mixing and producing music, that's your sound guy. You have transport, your friend who loves driving. You literally have a film crew right around you all the time. And the background artists, well, that's your family. It's the people who've always been there for you, the people who help you out. That's your mother going in the background, reading your lines for you, or just making sure you get there on time. So live your life like any good director. Make sure your supporting cast and crew are respected, well treated, and I promise you, they'll do the same for you. I'm Thabo Rametsi. This is my masterclass on directing crew and background artist, brought to you by Showmax and Actor Spaces. We're out.